Going into this Conjuring for the last rites, they made it pretty clear this is the last one, right? All the cast comes back. At the end of it, you see a bunch of cast members from like even the first movie. So they were very much like, this is it, right? And it tells the story of the Warrens. They've retired. It starts off in the 60s and they are on their first case. Lorraine is heavily pregnant and she nearly has a miscarriage because of what happens when they're trying to fight the demon, and the baby's born, and it's all okay, right? Then 22 years later, they've pretty much retired, but there's this family in Pennsylvania who are battling like a severe poltergeist, like a seriously violent poltergeist. And they try to do everything, but certain like people die, weird events keep happening, and eventually everything kind of intersects where the Warrens end up at this house through their daughter, which I don't want to give too much away because the movie is pretty good the way it paces. And then they end up having the big showdown with this demon who turns out been waiting for their daughter for like 24 years? 24 years.
Dystopian type situation.
Yeah, kind of thing. It's all based around this item, and it's introduced very early on, so you'll see it. And then and that's it really. It's kind of all wraps up. But the premise of that movie isn't very complex, right? Like, that's what all the Conjuring movies are. There's a setup, like a brief flashback to something. The main thing is introduced, the family is introduced, and the Warrens have to get there. Either they actively seek it out or someone comes to them. And this one is, they're kind of like, they want to be finished. And, they do. But what's really, really nice about this movie is they not only end it with, being successful, but they end it with a vision. So basically, at the end of the movie, Lorraine is like, hey.
It doesn't be a major spoiler. Like,
No, it's not. The end of the movie with a vision. No, I mean, like, these were real people, man. Like, Ed and Lorraine Warren lived.
I suppose you put it like that, yes.
Yeah, like, they lived past this event. So, I mean, they didn't die at this.
Homer, he lived if he's written the article.
Yeah. So, she gives a vision of the future, and it's pretty much just like what happened after that event up until when they do die, right? In real life. So, they really did kind of be like, look, this is the last movie. We're kind of done here, but it still satisfies that, what happened next? I've actually never seen a movie do that before, where they so completely just have their cake and eat it too, But it also opens up the fact that if they want to, they can make more movies based on the occult museum, because there's so much weird and cool stuff in that museum that they can go off and make spin-offs. So I don't know if they're going to do that or not, but at the same time, it depends how much money this makes. So far it's literally only open today, so it hasn't made that much yet, but horror movies are pretty cheap to make, so we'll see. Look, but if this is the last Conjuring universe movie, it's a very, very strong way to go out. Again, Patrick Wilson is always a treat to see in this role, as is the whole cast. I really, really like Vera Farmiga. She's really, really good, and you've seen her in a bunch of movies as well. But I think this role really suits her quite like a glove, because she just always seems to nail it. But Patrick Wilson is also in the Insidious movies, so if you haven't seen those, they're like
Insidious. That's what I saw. I thought I saw The Conjuring. It was Insidious.
Yeah. So look, you would be. No, I don't think anyone would blame you for that, right? Because it is kind of like Patrick Wilson's other movies, So like James Wan was involved in some of it, but it's more off of Blumhouse. So it's kind of like the Burger King to Conjuring McDonald's. You know what I mean? Where it's like they're kind of similar, but not really. Yeah. Kind of similar,
I remember Insidious was more in that genre of thing in walls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is.
I know Conjuring doesn't sound like that at all.
Yeah. I mean, there's bits of things, like The Conjuring, it's more things on top of things and things possessing things. Insidious is, stuff in walls, different portals, dipping in it.
I've been listening, but I was trying to rack my head for the horror film he was in that wasn't Conjuring, so thank you for that.
No, you're welcome. But, like, I think one overshadowed the other. And look, my point I was going to make is, and you kind of said it there, it overshadows it, right? And it confuses it because you're like, which movie is this? You know, what?
Yeah, it had Robert Downey Jr. in another movie where he wore an Iron Man suit. You
would get confused, but I think the strength of why it works is because the rest of the cast is very, very supportive. You know, he's not lost in the movie, and it doesn't look like you're watching the same movie again, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, but can I ask, just before we kind of put a bow on this, do you think people who hadn't seen the other Conjurings would get anything out of this? Do you need to be kind of plugged into the minutiae of all the other films to get this last one, or can you just enjoy it on its own?
No, you can just enjoy it on its own. I mean, like that's what's so great about the Conjuring movies. Actually, pretty much everything except for The Devil Made Me Do It. They open up with like a text going, hey, here's where we are. Here's the characters. Here's who Ed and Lorraine Warren were. And here's what the universe is kind of like. So it's brilliant. It's like a little setup even before. It's like when you're watching a TV show, it's like previously on, you know, it catches you up so you can just drop right in. The only movie in the Conjuring universe that doesn't do that is, or it does do it, but it failed so comprehensively, is The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Right.
That's it.
Okay, all right. So this gets a hearty thumbs up from you then.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a fan anyway. I like the whole cast. I really, really enjoy the movies as a whole. Like, there's no reason for me to not like this movie. So, yeah, 100%.